If you are new to the channel, then subscribe the channel and press the bell icon for further notification. Okay student, welcome to this new lecture of quadratic equation intermediate level where we are solving JEE mains questions. So we'll be solving here from question number 7 onwards, that is 2008 onwards, up to question number 15 too. Okay, then let's try to solve these questions. Question number 7, the quadratic equation this and this have one root in common and other roots of the first and the second equations are integers in the ratio. You have to take care of this one. Second equations are integers in the ratio of 4:3 and one root is common, and so the common root is there actually. So let the common root is alpha. So both the equations having alpha a common root, and because it is in the ratio of 4:3, so let me take one is 4 beta and another one is 3 beta, where beta is the proportionality constant. So one is 4x 3x we normally take, but because x is there, so we'll take one is 4 beta and another in another equations it will be one is alpha and another one is 3 beta, because these two should be in the ratio of this. Now if you see the equations, some format of the equation is given and some to one unknown with one unknown. Here a is unknown, here c is unknown. So let us normally go by that, what we know, the sum of the roots. Let us see what is given here. So if you see questions, and if you when starting equations, you start with the point what you know till now. So till now we have given, so we have assumed some roots. So what we can try that we can have sum of the roots and product of the roots. Let's find this one first. If I take sum of the roots this, and if I take product of the roots 4 alpha beta, then it is a. Here also if I take sum of the roots, alpha plus 3 beta is equal to c, and 3 alpha beta is equal to 6. Now if with this much we can write. Now once you have written this one, obviously you could have followed this one. From here alpha beta is directly 2. So if I place alpha beta here, I will get a here directly. So a will be your 8. That means a is equal to. So once you have 8, that means you have this equation. What is this equation now? This equation is now x square minus 6x. So if you solve it, it is x minus 4, x minus 2 equal to 0. You can easily do the middle factorization. I am skipping that one, directly writing. So x equal to 2 and 4. So once you know x equal to 2 and 4, so someone has to be the common root. Either this one has a common root alpha, or this has to be 4 beta. So as of now I don't know which one, but I'll try to start with, let's start with the alpha is equal to 2. If it's match everything, every conclusion, if it match every other condition, then this will be answer. Otherwise I will try with alpha 4, whatever. So if my alpha is equal to 2, then you can calculate the other things. If alpha is equal to 2, then what is your beta? Beta is equal to 1. If you put alpha here, so beta is equal to 1. So that means then you can try with this. What is the second equation? X square minus cx plus 6 equal to 0 also. So you can put, because alpha is the root of this version, if you put alpha equal to 2, it should satisfy. So from here you can calculate your c is equal to 5. 4 plus 6, 2 by 5. So once you know c5, that means you have this equation 5x plus 6. Now you factorize this one, x minus 3, x minus 2 equal to 0. So x equal to 2, x equal to 3. Okay, 2 is the common root. Okay, what they told, that is satisfied. Okay, 2 is the common root. And if you see the other root 4 and 3, 4 and 3, what is the ratio? 4:3. So that also satisfies. So the conditions, there are two conditions. I have one common root and other root should be 4:3. So both the conditions are satisfied. That means whatever alpha we have chosen out of these, that is my correct alpha. If it is not correct, then I should have gone for alpha equal to 4. So obviously 2 is my correct alpha. If the roots of the quadratic equation be imaginary, so you think this one, this is the first line, imaginary roots. So when you read the first time this line, the roots, this imaginary means this quadratic equation discriminant should be less than 0. That's what they have given in the first line. Then for all the values of x, the expression this have greater than this, less than this, minimum this or this. So now you see this is a quadratic expression because it is square. And what is the value of a? A is here 3b square. 3b square means because it is square is there, that means it is always positive. So if your a is positive, that means it is a smiling parabola. Smiling parabola. Because it is a smiling parabola, that means you will always have a minimum value. So your other things, this expression will be always greater than some minimum value. So less than will be obviously gone. These options and these options are obviously gone. So you are left with a and b, c only. So let us try which one is the minimum value. I don't know. So what is the given condition? This is the given line. The line they have given is here. So I have to use this line obviously, because they are saying the roots is imaginary. Then what I will do? Roots. What is discriminant? Discriminant is b square minus 4ac. Here b is c. So c square minus 4ac. That should be less than 0. So that means c square should be less than 4ab. Okay, once you know this one, then this much you know. Now what is the condition? This expression is what? 3b square x square plus 6bcx plus 2c square. Now you know this is a smiling parabola because b square is a positive, so because of positive I have shown you this is smiling, so we will have a minimum value. Then what is the minimum value formula? The formula for the minimum value was 4ac minus b square by 4a. That was the minimum value formula. You can check that formula because I am writing capital AB because this may get confused. So for what is a here? A is here 3b square. What is c here? C is here 2c square. And what is b square? 6bc whole square. And divided by 4a is 3b square. So b square get cancelled and 12 minus, so it will be minus c square. Okay. So minus c square. Now you know c square is greater than this. So what is minus c square? If you multiply it by minus, I told you it will change. The sign will change if you take product because of with minus sign. I have given you an example. If 2 is greater than 2, if you multiply it by minus 2, then minus 2. Sorry, if 2 is less than 3, because 2 is less than 3, so if you multiply it by minus, then minus 2 will be greater than minus 3. You can check. Minus 2 is here, minus 3 is here. Minus 2 is greater. So if you multiply both sides by minus, this inequality sign change. So this will change. That means this expression, whatever expression you got, that is minus, that is always greater than minus. So that's what we have already got some idea. It should be greater than something, some value. These and these were gone. So it should be greater than minus 4ab. That is option C is the correct. Next, number 9. If alpha beta are the roots of the equations this. So alpha beta are the roots of equation this, then this they have asking. So one thing, when you see this one, obviously you will have alpha plus beta and alpha beta from this, but it is to the power 2009. So you cannot factorize it in terms of alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Then when you see this expression, you will know, you will have a better idea when you will deal with complex number. This expression x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0 or x square minus x plus 1 equal to 0. Both these expression. Here if you calculate it is minus b plus minus root 3i by 2 it will come. And if here if you calculate it will be 1 plus minus root 3i by 2 it will come. So both these expression, if you know quadratic equations, if you know complex number, you might have known it already, heard it. But those who are not knowing it, this is nothing but cube root of unity. One is omega and one is omega square. If you take the plus one is omega, then the minus one is omega square. For now, if you don't know, you just remember this one. So here it will be just a minus. If you take a product of this with a minus, then one will be 1 minus root 3 by 2, 1 minus root 3 by 2 and 1 plus root. So anyone you can take omega and anyone you can take omega square. But there is a minus product. If you product it by minus 10, then it becomes. So this, so one is alpha, one is beta they have given. These are the roots. There are special characteristics of omega. Omega cube is always 1 and 1 plus omega square is also 0. So these conditions of complex number you will learn when you will go to complex, you will go to complex number. So this property for right now I am just using, you just remember it because it is in quadratic chapter, so let me complete it. So in place of alpha we will complete it omega minus omega to the power 2009 and it is minus omega square to the power 2009. So it will be minus omega to the power 2009 and then minus omega square 2009 means 4100 power it will be multiplied. Now what you do, you go up to cube because omega cube is 1, so you will always go up to cube. You divide by 3, it will be 6 3s are 18, then 20, 6 3s are 18, then 29, then it is 669 and then 22, 29, 20, then 2 left. If you divide 2009 divided by 3, you will get 669 and then remainder is 2. So that means 1 omega square extra. So we are going up to 3 omega cube, then again 4018. So if you go, I'm directly writing is 1339, you will left with 1 omega. So up to omega cube this is 1, so this becomes 1, so it is simply minus omega square, this is also becomes 1. So these are very easy for complex number, you will find lots of things in it. So omega plus omega square, from this property it is minus 1, so if you put minus 1 it is 1. So that is your option C. So by seeing also questions you should have some idea, and you should have some idea from where you should start, what should be our approach. That should be very much clear when you are reading the question. Alpha beta be real, alpha beta real, and z is a complex number, z. If this has two distinct roots, so once z is my x here, x square plus alpha x plus beta, alpha beta are real, so this real we know. Because z is a complex number, so two distinct roots they are asking. So in case of complex number, how these roots are? These roots are conjugate to each other once the coefficient are real. That's why the theorem is exist. There is a theorem, if coefficients are real, if one root is alpha plus I beta, another root will be alpha minus I beta. So that's why they are given this one is real. So if they have two distinct roots, so if one is alpha plus I beta and this part is also given on the line real z equal to 1. Real z equal to 1 means z has a real part. Suppose z is my Question number 10. Z is my x plus iy. So this is known as real part, this is known as imaginary part. Real part is given 1, so 1 plus iy. So what will be the another root? So this is one root. Suppose this is one root, whatever root, and the another root will be 1 minus iy. You can name it. If suppose this is delta, this is gamma. So these are the two roots. One is 1 plus iy, another one is just conjugate of this one because they are complex. Now they are asking to find the if you see the options. Now what should our approach? They are asking about beta. So from where beta will come? Beta is here C. Beta will come if you take product of these two. So if I take product of these roots, delta into gamma, so what will be the product of this? 1 plus iy into 1 minus iy. Okay, and that is equal to nothing but beta, C by A. So A plus B into A minus B, A square minus B square. Y square is minus 1, so it is 1 plus y square. Now can you tell something from this expression about beta? Any characteristics beta? What should be beta? How it will look like? Or from options also you can say. Because this is always positive. I have always told you this something square is always positive. So the number will start from 0 and then it will keep on increasing. Y square will be always greater than or equal to 0. Minimum value is 0, then you can add anything with 1. So the minimum value of b is 1 and then you can go up to infinity. So this one is the answer. You can see. That's why there is a open bracket. You can see this bracket. This bracket is a closed bracket. Because why it is closed? Because it can be 1. If y is equal to 0, that can be 1. Y can be 0. There is no problem. No one has told you y cannot be 0. If y is 0, then beta is 1. So that's why this closed bracket. That means including 1, it can go anywhere. Equations this and this and this have a common root, then a is to b is to c. Now once you see common root, you can start solving using that common root formula. Let alpha be the common root and then taking this one. But in that note, in that theory, I have also mentioned you, because this one quadratic expression is directly given to you. So you can find the root of these two. What are the roots of? Let me find the roots of this. So from here, if I say one root is common, I can put it there. I can do something with that because that formula will be a long formula, because that you can see alpha square minus alpha minus 1 was there, Cramer's rule. So that takes little time. So because this is given to you, let me calculate the roots of this one first. So if you calculate the roots of this one, if you see this one, you cannot factorize it. So you will try to see that. Before trying see that, you calculate the d first, because in Sridhar also you will be doing b square minus 4 AC portion. So why not calculate this one first? 4 minus 4 into 3. So it is minus c. Because it is negative, that means it is imaginary roots. The roots are complex. So I told you in that theory, if one common root is complex, whatever roots, then another root be just conjugate of that one. So if one root is common, then another root will be obviously common. One complex common root. One complex common root means both roots are common. If you solve it here, it will be x equal to minus b plus minus 6i root 6i by 2. So one root is minus 6 plus root 6i by 2. So suppose the another, this one, is also having a common root, this one. So obviously what will be its another root? Root 2 minus, obviously it will be the conjugate of this one, because we have seen if one is positive, another becomes conjugate of that one. That means both the equation have both the roots common. If both roots is common, that means both are representing same equation only. This is nothing but the same equation. So how the same equation they are forming? That is multiplying this one by 2, 3, 4, anything. One example I have shown you in the theory. That means the ratios are same. Whatever you multiply, it becomes 1. Same thing you multiply it 2, it should become 4. It should multiply with 3, it should become c. That means 1 by, this coefficient is 1, this coefficient is a, 1 by a should be equal to 2 by b, should be equal to 3 by c. So from here itself you can say, that means a by 1 is equal to b by 2 is equal to c by 3. If it is in the below, you can directly say a is to b is to c is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3. In the ratio, if the numbers, you can bring them in the denominator and the variable is the numerator, then you, from the denominator itself you can directly say the ratio, so that it will be 1 is to 2 is to 3. So the ratios are 1 is to 2. If it is 1, then it should be 2, it should be 3. You can see from here also. Here also you can see this should be 1 by comparing these two only. Here coefficient is 1, so if a is equal to 1, that means b should be equal to 2, c should be equal to 3, because both should represent same line only. So from here also you can see 1 to 3. So in case of there is a common root, and one equation is directly given to you, so you calculate the root. If it is a complex, it becomes very easy. Then obviously both are same, because one complex common root means another root that should be also common, because another root will be conjugate here and the first root is common. So if the second root is conjugate of this, here also the second root is a conjugate of that. So both will be same. The pairs will be same. You can see if one root is this one, it is common here. Another root will be conjugate of this one, it conjugate. So ultimately both the roots are equal. P and Q are non-zero real numbers, and alpha cube, beta cube is given alpha beta, then the quadratic equation whose roots are this. So by seeing this, you can now have some idea, because this quadratic equation whose roots are this. So if I can find how equations are formed, quadratic equations are formed, its roots are given, you need to find sum of these and product of these. So if you take sum of these two, if you take sum, then it is alpha cube plus beta cube by alpha beta, and this is given, alpha cube plus beta cube is minus p and alpha beta is given. So sum of the roots is given, and if you take product of these two, so that is also given, because it will be alpha beta, that is given q. So what is the equations we know? This is the sum of the roots into x plus product is equal to 0. So x square minus, what is the sum? I am getting minus p by q, and what is the product? Q. So if you take q as an LCM, that will be qx square plus px plus q square is equal to 0. That means the least value of alpha for which this satisfies. So inequality we have already, the least integral value of alpha, this one also you have to be very careful. Integral means it should be integer, it should not be any value, such that this equation, these inequalities holds true. So from that you will get alpha, and that alpha, that value what you are getting, it should satisfy any one of this equation. Which equation it is satisfying, you have to step. So let me calculate this inequality. We have solved it, and if you factorize it, I am doing it again directly. Now if you put the poles, I have told you to insert poles. So one equation, if you, what is the factor? X minus 2, that means x equal to 2, so it is x equal to 2, one is x equal to minus 7, and one is x equal to 5. That means you have to dig a hole and you have to put poles here. Okay. Now it is a standard format, because x minus alpha, x minus beta, x minus gamma. So if it, I told you for standard program format, you don't need to calculate you putting 0, which one is positive or negative. You just start from this side, this is plus, this is minus, this is plus, this is minus, that's it. So because it is greater than 0, so you have this zone and this zone. So what is the minimum value of, because they are asking alpha is your minimum value, alpha is the least value of x as that. So in this condition, because this is one answer, this area is also satisfying this condition. So out of these two area, which one is the minimum value of x integral value? So if you see this area, this is the minimum, this is the lowest one. And what is the, because it is not equal to, so minus 7 it cannot be. So it is just before minus 7, not including minus 7. So the next integer you have is minus 6. That means x can be minus 6, that is the least value, which is alpha. So alpha can be the least value, which is least integral value, because it should be integer. So before minus 7 only one integer, it is the minus 6, which is the least. Okay, now if you put, see which equation is satisfying this one. If you put minus 6, if you factorize this one, you will find one factor is a 4 and 1. You will find it is a, one is minus 4 and one is plus 1. And if you factorize this you will find 4 and 1. And if you factorize it, I am not doing it, alpha minus 5, or you can put alpha, you put alpha equal to minus 6, see which one is satisfied. You will see this one is satisfied, because here one option will be minus 6 and 1, and here option will be 6 and 1. 14. If alpha beta are the roots of these equations such that this equation, then P belongs to. Now again one thing, what is given, this condition is given to you, alpha minus beta, the difference between these two, and it is in a mod sign, because they are concentrating about the difference only, whether it is alpha minus beta or beta minus alpha, they doesn't care. So this is given to you root 2, and the equation is given alpha beta. You know alpha plus beta will be equal to, from here it is minus p minus v by a, and alpha beta equal to 3p by 4. Now you need to use this one here. So how to use this one? This is the one way to remove mod is you take square both sides, because if you are taking square, that means you are dealing with positive numbers only. So one way is to just square it. Even if it is negative inside, if you square it, it will be positive. So this is one way to deal with mod, to remove mod. Just square both sides, your mod will be removed. A minus b whole square is a plus b whole square minus 4ab. So if you put it here, p square minus, that means you will get p minus 5, p plus 2 is equal to 0. Minus 2 and 5, that is your option B. You got the answer. The values of a for which one root of the equation this exceeds 2 and other is lesser than 2. Okay, the locations of the roots, the famous locations of the root we have discussed in theory. Okay, now you see here, it was not, in earlier locations of the root it was easy for us to calculate x, but here you cannot calculate x. In the earlier questions, you can see this question number, this was also questions of roots, this one, x square minus, but here it was easy, it was a minus b whole square, you can easily calculate it. That here also it was easy, it was x plus 1 whole square. So you can easily calculate x and you can easily find the value of k. But here it is now tough. You cannot calculate here because it is not standard 2ab, a plus 1. If you go on making it also perfect square, it will be a lengthy one. So we'll use the concept. So we need to draw the expression, and we have to see how the expressions will look like. Now you see, this is a. What is a? Is 1. 1 is positive here, so that means it will be a, obviously it will be a smiling parabola. That's what we know. It is a smiling parabola. Now what is the condition they ask? They ask one root should exceed 2 and other should be less than 2. So your 2 should lie between here. So one root should be this side exceeding that one, and other root should be this side. So this is the drawing they asked us. They wanted some time of smiling parabola which should be look like this. 2 should be in between. And if it is a smiling parabola, so smiling parabola there are 2 roots. So if 2 should be inside, that means one thing you can do, the value of the function at 2, you can see it should be negative here. Because you want it should cut before 2 and it should leave after 2. That means in between this position x1 and x2, the function will be negative. The output of the function, in all other positions you see the value of the functions is positive. If 2 lies here and if it is negative, that means obviously 2 will lie. You are getting it now? If the value of function is negative, then only the value is inside, because it is negative only inside x1 and x2, and you need 2 to be inside x1 and x2. So for 2 to be inside x1 and x2, the value of the function should be negative. You can see, you can segregate this one, this position. This position has a special characteristics. What? Here the value is negative. Only here the value of function is negative. So because you need 2 to be here in between x1 to x2, so here your function should be negative. That means your f2 should be negative. This is the conclusion we need. So only with this one we can do it. There is nothing is required here. Because it is a smiling parabola, if it cuts something positions, it should go up. It is a smiling, it should go up. There is no questions it can come down again. So f2 should be negative. What is the value of f2? That means you will put in place of x2. So 2 is 4. This is my function. This is equation, and the expression is this one. I am drawing the graph for not for this equal to 0. This graph is for only this one, without equal to 0. Fx equal to this. This, don't get confused. That is for equation you cannot plot graph. We plot graph for the expression, and equation is a special case of that expression. And if I equate to 0, then this is the special case. This point and this point represents the equal to 0, and this graph represents the curve, that is the expression. So this expression should be less than 0. So 4 minus 2 a minus 2. So here a minus 3 a plus 2 is 0. So once it is a minus 3 a plus 2 is 0. Now you can dig a hole, and you can put a hole in that hole. One hole will be at a equal to 3, one hole will be at a equal to minus 2. We are putting poles here, and it is standard x minus alpha, x minus beta. So it will be plus minus plus. Because they are asking less than 0 this position, that means your a should lie between minus 2 to 3. In this notation you can give, and in interval you can also give a should belongs to. So both way you can represent. This way also you can represent this way. Because it is not equal to, that's why I am using first bracket. So they are using this one, that's why it is option C. If you like the video, then press the like button, and please give your valuable comments in the comment section.